In this video, I'm going to be showing you my 3-step process to figuring out if your ad account can scale, if you should increase budgets week over week, or if you have to adjust something else. And so let me just show you what I do. The first thing I do is I actually look at 7/7 data. So what I'll do is I'll click the 7-day dropdown, and then I'd compare it against a different period. So I want to compare against the previous period because I want to figure out if my 7/7 day trend, I'm actually progressing, or if my conversions are shrinking, which would mean I need to diagnose something else and I shouldn't scale. So I'm just going to look 7/7. You'll see I have each campaign here, and I'm looking at two things. So I'm looking at the cost, and then I also want to pull the column for conversions. And this is going to be very telling because if I look at cost and I just scroll down to filtered campaigns right here, I'll see that I did spend less money week over week. I spent 15% less money. But if I actually look at my conversions are trending upward, right? That's great. That's really good, actually. So what this tells me is I'm actually just getting a more efficient cost per conversion, 36 pounds. It's 22% cheaper than the week prior. So that's a really good sign. Usually what you want to have happen, or usually what you see happen, is you decrease spend and your conversions decrease with it. But for this client, we decreased spend week over week and our conversions got better, which means that we must be bidding more efficiently. And so the second thing you want to do after you figure out, hey, where are we trending from a conversion standpoint? For us, for this client, we're trending upward. And so for me, those are two green flags. We've checked the actual 7-day over 7-day range, and you can go further. You can go to 30/30 and just compare last month versus the previous month, whatever it is, to further solidify or confirm that you should be scaling or not. I'm just doing this on a tighter time horizon because I know the context of this account. And so those are great. Like immediately I'm saying we should scale. And so I probably would scale. The only other thing I want to look at before I scale, because I can scale two different ways. I can either scale my budget or I have to scale something else. And I'll show you what that means. I have to adjust a bid strategy. And so for example, if we look at this campaign right here, I have a 240 pounds per day in allotted spend. It's only spending in the last 7 days on average, it only spends 150 pounds per day. So if I were to increase this budget, let's say I said, hey, we're ready to scale the account, and I just start increasing this to, let's just say 400 pounds per day, that's not going to fix anything. I'm not actually going to scale this campaign because right now what's going on is I can't scale the campaign. Something is restricting it from spending. What is that? I have to figure it out. 8 times out of 10, it is going to be your bid strategy. So I actually know this particular bid strategy is a little bit restrictive. Essentially, it's a target cost per acquisition bid strategy, and it's set too low. So I'm telling Google that, hey, I only want you to bid and actually enter me in the auction and spend my money if you think you can get a conversion at this cost. And so they'll get really efficient conversions in this campaign, but after a certain point, they'll say, hey, we can't get you any more conversions at this price. We don't think we can, so we're not going to spend any budget. So what I'd have to do if I wanted to scale this is actually increase the target cost per acquisition. So after you figure out that, hey, on my trend, I've selected the date range that's most applicable to my business model, and I've figured out that either conversions are trending upward and my cost per conversion is also decreasing, or it's at least steady, yes, I can scale. The next thing you'll have to do is determine, do I scale the daily budget or do I have to adjust my actual bid strategy? So you'll see for this campaign, look at it, we have 250 a day. It's pretty much spending 99% of the daily budget. So for this one, if I wanted to scale it, I would just scale it because it's ready for scale. It's already spending its full daily budget. But for this one, the scaling mechanism would look different. And so that's essentially how I interpret this data. Optimize and look at 7-day trends. I don't ever look day over day to determine scaling. I'm at least looking at a 7-day trend, especially if you're a lead generation business. And I'm going, hey, are we spending our full daily budget? Because if we're ready for scale and if our conversion volume and trend looks healthy, then we should scale. Another thing I look at for my lead generation businesses is I go to segment right here, and I actually want to see what type of conversion actions am I scaling, right? And so I'm going to go to segment, I'm going to go to conversion category. And then once I have that conversion category segmented, I'll be able to see each campaign, what it's actually getting from a purchase standpoint, lead form submission standpoint. So let me just show you what this looks like. You'll be able to see the actual volume of conversions per category. So you'll see this campaign generated 4.95 purchases. It amounted to $18,000 or pounds worth of revenue. And if I go to the very bottom, if I just select all these campaigns combined, I'll be able to see the conversion volume per category combined. And so what this will actually show you is my actual purchase conversion value, which is right here in this column, went up 41,000 pounds week over week. Well, that's a really good sign for me to be scaling, right? So if you need further confirmation, look at your conversion value, look at your actual ROAS metrics. And if those are also steady or trending upward week over week, or based on the business model, maybe you need a longer time horizon, 30 day over 30 day to confirm that it's a wise move to make, then you should be scaling your account. And then you just want to make sure that you should either be scaling the daily budget or you should be adjusting your bid strategy. As far as how much you should be scaling by, it's going to be completely dependent. But if you're thinking, hey, I need to scale by only 20%, if you want to scale aggressively, you can scale aggressively. The only campaign I would caution against scaling by like 100% on is going to be a performance max campaign. But if you have search campaigns, I've scaled by 100 to 200% in search campaigns. In most of my performance max campaigns, when I'm running for clients, I'm only scaling anywhere from 25 to 35% at a time. Less is more of those campaigns because they're so AI heavy. There's so many different things that can happen when you scale that aggressively, like your placements going out of whack and then bidding more on display network or YouTube when most of your placements prior were search placements. So just make sure that you are using a little bit of discernment when scaling across campaign types. But that is essentially my 3-step process for scaling. That's how you can know if you're ready to scale. Look at a trend, primarily conversion and cost per conversion data and ROAS, and then make sure that you actually understand the mechanism for scale. Lastly, make sure that your time horizon for looking at if you should scale is long enough based on your business model. Hope this helps. Let me know if you guys have any questions.